Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our final Fantasy Rodeo preview here on US Cowboy. We are presented by Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, who we will be with for the entirety of the 2025 National Finals Rodeo. So thank you to them, and please follow along to all of that content when we get to Las Vegas. But first, we need to wrap up our fantasy previews with the ladies, with the barrel racing. And my mission statement, my thesis statement for the barrel racing is the barrel racing is a lot more like the bull riding than any other event. And so if you have seen the bull riding video or know my philosophy on the bull riding, my philosophy on the bull riding is this. That is your opportunity to pick someone in the top 4, 5, or 6 who will likely, more so than any other event, outperform the bottom 4, 5, or 6, wherein steer wrestling or team roping or even tie down roping or bareback riding, that is not always the case. I think barrel racing, you have a big opportunity. I think I have 7 written down. I think the top 7 coming in will be pretty dang close to your top 7 in money earned in the barrel racing. So this is a place where I think you should make sure that when you get to the barrel racing, when you get to the bull riding, if you are putting together your team, try to have at least $200,000 remaining so you can take advantage of getting someone in the top 3, 4, 5 in the barrel racing or the top 3, 4, 5 in the bull riding. That is how I would encourage you to play it. This is not official advice. This is not gambling advice. This is just my view on the pro fantasy rodeo game. So I would look to the top 7. Then there's one more lever you can pull if you want to save money in the barrel racing, which I will get to. So let's run through that top 7. Starting with Kassie Mowry, who won 5 rounds last year. That's, if you know anything about rodeo, anything about the National Finals Rodeo, if you watched anything last year, I don't need to explain to you how good Kassie Mowry was because she was incredible. She had probably the best barrel racing all time at the National Finals Rodeo. She won 5 straight rounds, became the first person in 40 years to do that. She made $295,000. She won the Ram Top Gun Award, and she ended up winning the world title with just 28 rodeos on the season. The year before that, in 2023, she placed in 5 rounds and won 2 and won $188,000. So over her last 2 NFRs, she has won 7 rounds and over $483,000. By the way, last year I mentioned she went to 28 rodeos. This year again, exactly 28 rodeos during the regular season. That is the lowest rodeo count in the top 50. She enters number 1 with a world title to defend. However, she has a great field chasing her. Brittany Pozzi Tonozzi is number 2. Brittany Pozzi Tonozzi did not make the NFR in 2024, but before that in 2023, she had perhaps the most dominant barrel racing season of all time. So if Kassie Mowry had the most dominant NFR all time in the barrel racing in 24, in 23, Brittany Pozzi Tonozzi, start to finish, was the most dominant barrel racer. She won over $496,000 for the year. She won over $225,000 at the NFR. She set a regular season earnings record. She won the world by over $165,000. And in 2023, not only did she enter number 1, she won the average and placed in 8 rounds. At number 3, again, I'm telling you to save your money for the barrel racing because I don't think you can go wrong with anybody in the top 7. So I'm not even necessarily making a pick. I'm just letting you know, and I actually don't know who I'm going to pick in barrel racing yet. For a lot of the events, I come in with an idea. I don't have a great idea who I love in the barrel racing. Right now, full disclosure, leaning Haley Kinsel and Lisa Lockhart, but I don't know yet. Number 3 is Emily Beisel, however. She's coming off the best regular season in her career. She's been to 6 straight National Finals rodeos. She has won a round in every single one of those NFRs and won 2 rounds in 3 of those NFRs. And for her career, She is placed in 31 of 60 go-rounds. And I think the other thing that needs to be noted with Emily Beisel is the fact that she has such a good read on what her horses need at the National Finals Rodeo. She will be quick to change horses. She'll be quick to adjust her strategy. So she's not going to get caught up in one place. If she starts slow, you know a horse change is coming and the horse change is probably going to benefit her. She seems to consistently throughout her career play all of the right notes and have all of the right moves throughout the National Finals Rodeo. So she is able to tinker and get the results she wants. And I find that to be very, very impressive. I find Haley Kinsel, who's number 4 in the world, to be like that in a lot of ways, but more specifically, she changes how she manages her one horse and sister. She will run different horses occasionally, but she is always in tune, maybe more so than anyone else in pro rodeo, anyone else we've seen in barrel racing over the last couple of decades. You know, it's Haley and sister. And so for the National Finals Rodeo, when she gets to spend 10 days with sister, knowing exactly what that horse needs and exactly how that horse feels and how to get that horse ready for the NFR, the proof is in the pudding. She finishes the reserve world champion last year, but has 4 world titles. It came down to round 10. Kassie Mowry won 4 go-rounds. Kassie Mowry won 5 go-rounds. Haley Kinsel still won 4 last year. That's not even the most she's won at an NFR in the last 3 years. She won 5 rounds in 2022. And this year she won Reno, she won Spanish Fork, she won Cody, and she only made 21 runs on sister all year. So we talk a lot about Kassie Mowry and her 28 rodeos, many of those on Jarvis. Sister is coming in just as fresh for Haley. And in her last 4 NFRs, she is placed in exactly 7 rounds in 3 of them, which is why I like Haley Kinsel a lot. You can never go wrong with Haley Kinsel. She's always locked in at the NFR. Number 5 is the least decorated of these cowgirls, because you go down, you've got Mowry, Pozzi Tonozzi, Beisel, Kinsel. At minimum, they have been to 6 National Finals rodeos. But then you've got McLeod-Sprague, whose name I say with my Minnesota accent, and I apologize. But she won the most money over Cowboy Christmas, so she was terrific in the summer run. She also won San Antonio, was second in Fort Worth, so she was terrific in the Texas swing. So she is good at many rodeos over many days and outdoor setups, and she is good in the pens more similar to the NFR in San Antonio, in Fort Worth. She has slowly gotten into pro rodeo, spent a lot of her early time after college raising her family. Top 35, though, each of the last 3 years before this, now making her first NFR at number 5. But she is as decorated as you can be without making a National Finals rodeo. 16 circuit finals qualifications across 2 different circuits, 7 in the Wilderness, 9 in the Columbia River. And then before she went pro, or semi-pro, because again, she was at home raising her family, working on the committees for both the Wilderness Circuit Finals and Columbia River Circuit Finals at various points of her life. But before that, she went to 4 straight college finals, was an Idaho State champion in 1998, and was the reserve national champion in 1998. So she has always had this in her. It was just not her priority. And we have now seen in her first year with it as her priority, she finishes number 5 in the world. And oh, by the way, Andrea Busby last year in her NFR debut won the average. So certainly not something that is unheard of. Speaking of something that is not unheard of, it is our 6th ranked cowgirl. That is Lisa Lockhart at the National Finals Rodeo. And Lisa Lockhart has obviously been to many, many, many National Finals Rodeo, 19 to be exact. Every single National Finals Rodeo since 2007 has included Lisa Lockhart, which is why she's earned almost $2 million there in Las Vegas. Her NFR earnings for her career, $1.75 million. That means for 19 years, she has averaged over $175,000 per NFR, which is really exactly what you're looking for. In order to win those prizes, you need $150,000 to $200,000. And what she has done this year, down the stretch, won Cheyenne, second in Puyallup, second in Pendleton. That second in Puyallup and Pendleton, incredibly different setups there. She was terrific on both of them. Again, finished second on both of them. And she needs $125,000 this year, $125,175 to be precise, to become the first barrel racer ever to clear $4 million. And you have every reason to believe she's going to do it based on her recent history at the NFR as well. Won the average in the Reserve World title in 2023. Placed in 18 rounds over her last 3 national finals rodeos. And lastly, we go to Carlee Otero, who is number 7 in the world, who made her first national finals rodeo in a decade last year. And in that first national finals rodeo in a decade, she placed in 6 rounds and won about $150,000 with a cracked pelvis. So she is healthier this year. She won the National Western. She won Salt Lake City, second in Salinas, the winningest cowgirl over Utah Pioneer Week. That's Spanish Fork, Ogden, Salt Lake City. And if you win money at those rodeos, you can win money at every rodeo because you're going to see the best competition because it's easy to hit all of those rodeos and they all pay very, very well. So you're going to see the best competition night in and night out there. She was better than anybody in those rodeos. And if she didn't hit a barrel in round 10, actually really in round 8 and round 10, so because her first 7 runs, she led the average. She didn't hit a barrel in round 8 and round 10, or just one of those, she didn't hit a barrel, she would have also gotten an average check in that first national finals rodeo and taken that total close to $200,000. So as a reminder, we have a Fantasy Rodeo preview brought to you by Virgin Hotels for every single event before you go to Las Vegas. So I would encourage you, if you enjoyed this, check those out, share it with your friends, build your fantasy team. Let us help you build your Fantasy Rodeo team. Because again, every single event, 15 to 20 minutes, we go very, very in depth, and I do think they are very, very helpful. So I would encourage you to watch those. I would encourage you to like and subscribe. I would encourage you to follow along with us all the way through the National Finals Rodeo, because the hay's in the barn. The prep is done. The next time you see us on YouTube, on social, wherever doing one of these videos, it will be to recap round 1 of the National Finals Rodeo. So I hope this is helpful. I hope your fantasy team does well that night. I hope you use these videos to prepare. But until then, on the US Cowboy YouTube channel, the next time we see you will be in Las Vegas, Nevada for the 2025 National Finals Rodeo. Thank you for watching along with all of these videos. Thank you for enjoying our previews, and we will see you in Las Vegas.